Thank you, April. Thank you very much for coming out tonight. I want to thank the Robins Regional Chamber folks for allowing us to live stream this. Also the City of Centerville. I also want to thank our post 3 candidates, Michael Evans and Susan Lemmy. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your willingness to serve the community in which you live and which you both lived for a good period of time. Our 4 questionnaires tonight, our 4 panelists, I will introduce them right now. They'll be the ones asking the questions. Each candidate will get a chance to respond to each question. The first question, you'll have 2 minutes to respond. After that, every question will be 1 minute, and then we'll close with 1-minute closing statements. All right, our panelists are Steve Miner, retired Air Force officer, Chief AV Reserve Integration, basing in Brack Branch, and also a member of the Warner Robins Planning and Zoning Board. Steve, thank you for being here. Lauren Schultz is an attorney with James Bates Brannon Groover, LLP. She's a member of the Robins Regional Chamber, also a member of Houston County Family Connections Board. Thank you, Lauren. Shane Gottwals is the owner of Gottwals Books, also a member of the Robins Regional Chamber Board and Central Fellowship Board Chair. Thank you, Shane. And Reverend Darrell Vining is the pastor of Hebron Baptist Church. He's also a member of Community Outreach Service Center, and he is a community activist. Reverend Vining, thank you for being here. Thanks for all of you who are showing up tonight, for your interest in the community and for who represents your community. And as I look down, not quite 6 o'clock yet, but again, the format is simple. We'll go through as many questions as possible. We're going to try and keep this limited to about 35 to 40 minutes in deference to your time and to our candidates' time. And I think after that amount of questions, they'll probably be pretty tired too, so it'll be ready to go on because that will be a whole bunch of questions to go with. And again, some important dates to remember. If you haven't registered to vote, I'm sure most of you who are here already have. That's October 7th, the deadline. Early voting actually begins in just a few weeks. That's October the 15th, because believe it or not, we're almost already through September, and then Election Day will be November the 5th. All right, it is 6 o'clock. Our live stream is up now, and so we are ready to go with our Centerville City Council Post 3 Forum. Again, it's not a debate, it's a forum featuring the incumbent, Michael Evans, and the challenger, Susan Lemmy. We welcome all of you who are here and all of you who are watching on our live stream. We'll begin with questions. Lauren Schultz will have the first question. It will go to Mr. Evans, and again, first question, only 2 minutes to respond. Lauren.
What do you think is the greatest challenge our community faces, and what is your plan to address it?
Thank you for that question. That was a good question. As far as our community here in Centerville, I think the 3 things that are my priorities are quality of life, public safety, and financial strength of the city. Public safety and financial strength of the city really fit into quality life for the citizens, because in order for us to provide them a quality of life, we have to have taxes. We have to have revenue. And in Centerville, we have that, and we've handled it very well. We've empowered our department heads, and that's what I'm going to continue to do their jobs. They have the power to hire, and they have the power to dismiss people. I mean, you know, you look at Public Works Department, Director Brumfeld. We've worked with him to do LMIG grants, the street maintenance grants, so that our citizens have good roads. We've also empowered him to work so that they can put in sidewalks. So the park that we're building down the street, one day, folks are going to be able to walk from their home all the way to the park. So we're going to add quality of life things for citizens. We're going to have things that they're not going to have to go out of town to do. They can stay right here in Centerville, because we want this to be a great place for them to live, work, and play.
Ms. Lemmy, same question. You have 2 minutes.
Okay. Thank you for everyone who took time to attend this forum. It shows that you're interested. Involved citizens must help Centerville manage each challenge our community faces. Unfortunately, many citizens are not involved. They don't participate. They don't come to meetings. They don't show up to vote. They're not involved in the planning, decision-making, and oversight of our government. Citizens seem reluctant to attend issues, express their concerns, stay informed about issues affecting the city, or learn about how the decisions are made. They don't vote. They've placed their trust in fewer than 20% of their neighbors to elect the people who pass the laws, set taxes, and administer our city. I've already taken steps to address this problem. I have attended city council meetings. I've spoken at city council meetings. I've read the background materials, the ordinances, the state laws, interagency agreements, and about the organizations that shape our local decision-making. I've requested documents on spending reports to verify whether our officials are good stewards of taxpayer funds. I've commented at council meetings and on social media about spending and less than ideal communication with public. I'm running for city council. I'm running for city council. We will hold an election this year. Citizens will have a choice. Elections were canceled in the past because there was no opposition to the incumbent. Officials were appointed and never faced opposition in an election. Centerville cannot solve the challenges of infrastructure needs, increased personnel costs, public safety, and economic growth without citizen buy-in and an understanding of where the money comes from, where it goes, and why. Citizens have to understand. They have to be pleased with what government is doing to make government work for citizens.
Our next question will come from Pastor Vining. It will go to Ms. Lemmy first. And again, 1 minute now for your answers for the rest of our questions. Thank you.
Thank you for your desire to serve. What uniquely qualifies you to be a city council person?
Competent, capable, concerned, caring, cooperative. Coworkers described me that way one time. I'd add caregiver, customer service oriented, and citizen advocate. I listen to people. I talk with people all over the city when I'm going about shopping, when I'm going to the recycling center, when I'm going out and about in town, when I go to the beauty shop. And I listen to what they say their concerns are and how government is working for them. People do have problems. They just don't feel comfortable coming to the government meetings. They don't know how to advocate for themselves. I'm trained in research and reference. I research problems. I research solutions to problems. I look at how other people have solved those problems. And then I try to apply it to the situation at hand. I enjoy working with others to identify and solve issues before they become problems. I grew up in Centerville. I returned home to help care for my mother.
Mr. Evans, 1 minute for the question, please, about qualifications for city council.
The answer is simple. I want to be your councilman. I want to serve you. I could sit here and I could talk about how, I graduated from the Citadel, leadership. I could talk about I spent 28 and a half years in the United States Air Force, retired as a lieutenant colonel. Plenty of leadership training, plenty of management training. I could tell you that I have a degree in management and leadership from Webster University. No, but none of that matters. It's all good and it helps. I'm willing to work, I'm willing to be trained. But the most important thing that I think you need to be considering is the fact that I'm willing to serve. I have done it and I will continue. I want you to know this. I work for the United States Air Force. We get a certain amount of leave every year, okay? I take a majority of my leave and I spend it here at City Hall serving the citizens because things need to be done. I'll listen to you. All you have to do is talk to me, and we can get the things done that you want done in this city. So vote for me when you're looking for a city councilman.
Next question comes from Shane Gottwalls. It will go to Mr. Evans first, please.
Do you believe the city has effective budgeting practices? And if not, what concerns do you have?
Yes, I believe the city has effective budgeting practices. Every year we establish a budget, and I'll tell you this. For the last 4 years since I've been on city council, the city has operated under the budget in its general fund. We have not gone over it. We have extinguished debt. The mayor and council have supported projects. Citizens, you've given us the SPLOST, and we've been able to use that fund to get projects done. The sidewalk on Collins Avenue. You see all the work that's going on Main Street right now. Another thing. The state requires us to have a 3-month reserve, but your city council and we have decided to have a 6-month reserve so that we can continue to operate in the event something happens. And last, I'm going to say this. In the city of Centerville, we've been able to do all these things, and we haven't raised your taxes. I've been on the council for 4 years, and we're not raising them this year either.
Ms. Lemmy, 1 minute for the budget question, please.
I'm not privy to the inner workings of how the budget of Centerville has been determined. I know that I've been told that each department head is consulted and identifies their needs and risk and submits their needs to the city, and then that a budget is formed from that. That is something that I would be a part of and be involved in if you were kind enough to elect me. I do think that there's always room for improvement in budgeting. I praise Centerville for having reserve funds. They have worked hard to build them. They look at projects that have to be done, and they fund projects through SPLOST, they're looking at grants, they're working on other avenues. This is something that I would continue to do. And so as far as the process itself, until I'm talking with individual department heads and able to talk with them through that process, I can't tell you if it works for them.
Our next question comes from Steve Miner. It will go to Ms. Lemmy first.
Ms. Lemmy, what is your perception of crime in Centerville, and what measures do you propose to curb it?
We have some crime in Centerville. We've had some major events. I don't think they could have been predicted or handled any better than they were handled. Thank goodness nobody was killed. We have property crimes. We have a lot of property crimes. And that can be a problem. My purse disappeared from my car, and I thought I'd locked the car. I heard somebody outside. I heard a car door. I looked across the street to see what was happening. My purse was gone. Thank goodness I didn't walk up on the person taking it. But we can trust our policemen to show up quickly. We can trust our police department to be there. This is a problem that is a national problem. It's a Middle Georgia problem. And I suspect that a lot of our crime is imported from other areas. It's people coming from outside of Centerville, but we're surrounded by everybody else.
Mr. Evans, crime question for you, please.
So in the city of Centerville, of course, we have crime. It's something that we work very hard to alleviate because we want our citizens to be safe. The whole goal is quality of life, like I said before. I talked to our police officers and our police chief, and they tell me that we have one of the best trained and best equipped police departments in the area, in Middle Georgia. We've got officers that have come from other departments, and they say, hey, we get training here that we haven't gotten anywhere else. So when you look out your window or look out your door, and I was speaking to one of our residents just yesterday, and he tells me he feels safe when he looks out his door and he sees a police car driving by. On every shift, we have 3 officers, 3 patrol officers, and we have a sergeant. And those guys and those ladies, they're out there patrolling the streets so that you can be safe. And that's what we're doing now, not what we want to do.
Next question comes from Lauren Schultz. It'll go to Mr. Evans first, please.
What ideas do you have to attract new industries and retail opportunities to Centerville?
Well, as far as new industries and retails, we've been working on that. Tell you, 3 years ago, we hired Ms. Kate Hogan as the Economic Development and Marketing Director. And we've empowered her to go out and to talk to people. Just a couple of weeks ago, we went over there off of Carl Vinson, where the Sunbelt Company used to be, and there's a new company called S&K Industries that has moved in. They inspect F-15 wings, and their business comes from the base. All those workers are there, and that shows our partnership among the community. They're there. And we have Kate Hogan doing her job, talking to businesses. She's done 122 retention businesses or visits to businesses right in the area. So the mayor and the city council have empowered the employees to do their job. We provide the vision, and they get the work done for us.
Ms. Lemmy, same question about attracting new industries to Centerville.
I think that we are in competition with surrounding areas, and I think that this is a regional problem. It's not just Centerville's to solve, though I would have to agree that Kate Hogan has her hands in a lot of things to help us improve and attract businesses. We're working on improving rundown neighborhoods and housing. Kate has led us into a partnership to work with that and into having a housing team. I think that we have to make Centerville livable. We can increase the number of sidewalks, maybe some bike trails, make it easier for people to get around Centerville. We can try to increase recreation for children, to have something for the youth to do in this community so that families want to be here. When I grew up in Centerville, there were baseball teams, there were softball teams, there were fields, there were football teams. We can use the City Hall meeting room for training opportunities, to train for businesses we're attracting. Thank you.